Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're digging into a massive shift in global finance that's happening right under our noses. For a long time, it was all just theory. But now, some of the biggest, oldest names in the money game are signaling that a huge rewiring of the entire system isn't just coming, it's already here.
And I want you to focus on that word rewiring. This isn't just about a new app or a slightly faster way to pay for things. No, we are talking about a fundamental structural change. And while it's easy to get lost in the day-to-day noise of the markets, the real story, the big one, is happening right now.
And look, this isn't some fringe idea coming from the corners of the internet. The term rewiring is now being thrown around by the actual giants of the financial world to describe what they see coming down the pike.
And just look at who is saying it. You've got tech pioneers like Ripple's CTO, the folks actually building the new rails. Then you have the CEO of a massive global bank, Standard Chartered, looking at it from inside the legacy system. And then you have the IMF, the ultimate global financial watchdog. When the builders, the bankers, and the regulators all start using the same language, you know something huge is afoot.
Okay, so is this all just talk, or is there some real data to back this up? Let's follow the money and see just how big this change really is.
The scale here is it's mind-boggling. A recent Binance report that crunched the numbers found that stablecoin transaction volume hit $33 trillion. Just let that number sink in for a second. That's not some little niche market anymore. That's basically a parallel financial system, moving an absolutely staggering amount of value.
And to put that number into perspective, that $33 trillion is more than double the entire annual volume of Visa. On top of that, the revenue from decentralized finance, or DeFi, has now blown past the Nasdaq and the CME combined. This is not an experiment anymore. It's a globally significant financial machine.
And that brings us right back to the IMF. In a recent analysis, they flat out called this a structural transformation. And what was their big takeaway? The future isn't about replacing the old system, it's about interoperability. It's about connecting the old with the new. And crucially, they see regulation heading towards setting common rules, not trying to shut it all down. The goal is to upgrade the system, not to tear it down.
All right, and that leads us to the big one, a pivotal announcement from SWIFT, the global network that basically connects over 11,000 banks. For a lot of people watching this space, this recent news didn't just support the whole rewiring idea, it basically confirmed it.
So what did they actually do? Well, in a landmark trial with some huge banks, SWIFT proved that it could act as the single point of contact for really complex transactions happening across all different kinds of blockchains. Public ones, private ones, you name it, and then seamlessly plug all of that back into the traditional financial world. And the key phrase here is end-to-end orchestration. That's everything. This means SWIFT isn't just passing a message along like a mailman, it's managing the entire life of a digital asset, say a stock or a bond that lives on a blockchain, from the moment it's traded to its final settlement to even things like interest payments. This is SWIFT carving out its role for the future.
And that right there confirms SWIFT's whole strategy. They're not trying to build their own blockchain to compete with everyone else. No, instead, they're building the one essential bridge that connects the entire world of digital assets to the entire world of traditional finance.
SWIFT is trying to become this, an orchestration layer. Now, it's a fancy term, but the idea is actually pretty simple. Think of it like a universal adapter, or maybe a universal translator, for all of global finance. It's the layer that sits on top of all these different systems and allows them to talk to each other and work together.
And this slide just nails the concept. SWIFT isn't trying to be the engine that actually creates or settles value. It's trying to be the conductor of the orchestra. It coordinates the flow. It taps into all the different settlement systems, whether on a blockchain or a bank ledger, and it connects its massive network of institutions to all this new tech, without forcing them to rebuild everything from scratch. So how are they actually going to build this bridge? Well, the plan is to add a blockchain-based ledger to their own internal plumbing. Now, this isn't going to replace public blockchains, it's going to connect to them. It basically gives their 11,000 member banks one single, standardized on-ramp to the entire world of digital assets.
So when you put all these pieces together, what you start to see is a future where old money and new money aren't really enemies. They're collaborators in one single integrated global system.
This huge shift from all these siloed, competing systems to one interconnected web of value, it raises the big question, maybe the trillion-dollar question. What does the future of money and finance actually look like when everything is connected?
Well, the vision is for a future where value just flows. It moves seamlessly between systems, from a private bank's books to a public blockchain and right back again. Legacy systems and new tech aren't fighting anymore. They're working together, using a shared financial language, like the global standard ISO 2022, to communicate with each other.
And this might be the most important point of all. The endgame here is not about one blockchain winning and all the others losing. The whole point of this rewiring is inclusion. It's about connecting everything to grow the entire financial pie, which could make the whole system faster and more efficient for everybody.
Ultimately, when you look at these developments from SWIFT, from the IMF, from the big banks, it's pretty clear that a new foundational layer is being set. What was once just theory and endless debate is now turning into real-world implementation. The infrastructure is literally being built right in front of us, piece by piece. The only question left is, are we about to witness the next great leap forward in global finance?